Hello everybody, my name's Robert and welcome back to another video. I know, crazy right? My once a year upload is officially here. Anyway, today we're playing on an SMP server that I have open for some friends, and I'm usually the only one on, and I've been putting a lot of work into this server, into this world rather, and it's been a lot of fun, so I thought I'd just kind of show it off and maybe work on some of the projects that I'm working on today. But yeah, I'm just kind of fly by and give you a general idea of what's been going on the server. So we got a couple of people's bases over here. That's two separate bases, one to the right and to the left of me. There's another base straight below me right there. And as we come over this way towards 0, this is the main area of the spawn, where we have the main nether hub portal. And we've got a couple of farms. We've got the bee farm over here. This is like the first thing I made on the server, and I've never made one of these before, but it works pretty good. The only thing that's annoying is you need to refill the bottles manually. Over here, we've got the Villager Corps, which is the Center of Rehabilitation and Protection Services. We don't go in there, but yeah, down this way is the iron farm, where iron just magically appears, and there's no slavery involved at all. Anyway, over here we have the villager trading area, where we just have a lot of enchantments. Not all of them, but we got the good stuff covered, and a lot of glass trades and stuff. There's also iron trades, so we can turn our iron farm into emeralds. And yeah, that's pretty much that. And we're going to close this up, because it's dangerous if left open. As you can see here, we've got the names of shame. And yeah, you may see one familiar name up there. But those are the names of people who have accidentally started a raid at spawn and made me have to redo the villager trading hall several times because most of the villagers died. But that's okay. I definitely harbor no hard feelings to anybody on that list at all. Certainly not. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I also have a sheep farm over here. This is one of my first times ever making one of these. I'm pretty sure it's like, oh yeah, it's pretty full. I think some of the shears are actually broken. Yeah, some of the shears are actually broken. I need to refill that eventually, but not a big concern. I don't have any plans of using any wool at the moment, and there's a large stockpile of each color, so not that concerned. We've got another base here. And there's some floating chests because I'm going to make this area into like a post office type area. And this was the Christmas gifts to everybody. They were just general chests with each person's name on them, and you could anonymously put whatever you wanted in the chests. Some people haven't claimed their gifts from Christmas, not necessarily for lack of not being on. They just I haven't really claimed them. I'm not totally sure why. But regardless, we're going to make the post office, and I'm going to put this stuff into there. So those have to stay there for now. I mean, I guess I could have moved them, but no real point right now. Yeah, this base is, the outside is unfinished. I did this, but it is another person's base. It's not mine. And again, since I'm the one who mostly plays on the server, I just do a lot of things. You know, I'm not going to like touch the insides of bases really at all. But the outside, I did have to touch a little bit just to conform to spawn. I'm gonna like add more texture to this, and I want to add more like moss and other stone types into here, and I also have to readjust just the general shape and structure of this. It's a little tough to work with because I'm pretty sure space is like literally one block behind certain portions here. Not sure where. Those are both bad examples. Okay, well, just prove me wrong completely, fine. Yeah, that's totally fine, but, yeah, his base is, like, kind of right there. Oh, and I almost forgot about my favorite part of spawn. So yeah, this is the nether hub portal. This is where you would spawn if you just came from the nether hub. We have a small rail station here, and this rail station will take you to 4 people's bases, which are close to spawn. Those were the ones I was showing over that direction, the ones in the beginning of the video. And a couple bases over this way. I'm not going to take them. We'll just fly over there. Ever since we got Elytra, obviously we're avoiding using the rail system because it's so much faster to just fly. But yeah, there's another base over here, another friend. They've got a sugarcane farm, gunpowder farm, kelp farms, cool stuff. And obviously their base is just a giant tree. I absolutely love it. And you guys may have noticed, that'll be a good segue into this, but I use the Distant Horizons mod, which is how I see like 150 chunks. I guess I could set it higher, but yeah, I like this distance. This is really nice. And this actually is a great beacon because no matter how far I am from spawn, I can always tell exactly where it is. But yeah, that goes for most of the builds that we've done at spawn so far. So I actually want to get into some building today, but before that, I thought I would rename my cats. And if it's not obvious, I've been playing a little bit too much Helldivers. Really fun game, at least if you have friends. I would only recommend it if you have a group of like 4 people that you can play with. Including yourself. And personally, I think this name is pretty accurate and funny, so I'm going to keep it like this. So I did do some building, and I did have the recording of it, but I messed up the audio settings, so you're going to have to forgive me. We're just going to fly around and kind of just look at what I've done. So I made 2 little peaks, the smaller of which I showed off in the beginning of the video and said that I wanted to adjust. Let me just deal with these skeletons first. But you'll see right here, starting off actually, there's a little like hot spring in the mountains. I don't know why I did this. Like, it actually makes no sense considering like the mountain is like literally ice and everything, but I don't know, maybe it makes some sense. But yeah, as you can see, I just got really inspired and made like a water flow down this way, and there's like a waterfall over here. And there's a waterfall on the other side, or 2 waterfalls on the other side. I don't know, I just incorporated a lot of water, and it wound up really nice in my opinion. But yeah, you can see I've got the 2 peaks here. I have done a lot of decorating. I'm not done yet. There's still more details I want to add and a little bit more shaping I have to do, but I think it's actually time to move on to the next project. Because I just I like to bounce back and forth between projects. So what I actually want to do is the mail system. So we talked about that in the beginning of the video. It's right over here in this little crevasse in the mountain. I've already hollowed out a spot for it, and I made this little entrance. So let's get to it. Gotta grab my big old box of redstone. Good little precision anti-creeper sentry. So to start off, I just wanted to make sure I understood the basics of redstone and understood exactly how a comparator works to get the general idea of how I want to alert people that there's stuff in their mailbox. Next, I just started hollowing out some space where I'm going to actually put the mailbox because I want them flush mounted into the wall, and I really had no plan going into this, so I was just completely freehanding everything. I mean, the design was simple enough, but I kept going back and forth and removing more blocks, clearing out more space, and then going to build more. And as you can see here, I got it working just fine. It's a very simple design, small little torch tower off of a comparator to then light up the redstone lamp. But I wanted to expand on this a little bit and actually add a sound so people get a little bit more of like a haptic kind of feedback when you actually put items into the mailbox. So like when you put an item in now, it's going to make a bing sound. And actually watching back this recording, this is actually giving me a good idea that I can actually allow the people on the server to customize whatever sound and tune they want played on their mailbox just by replacing whatever block is underneath the note block. I'll probably ask people about it because it's a little too complex. I think like I don't want people touching my redstone. Okay, but yeah, I'll probably ask them if they want a different tune or something. But anyway, you can see here I was actually just adjusting all the note blocks. I'm pretty much finishing up everything here. I just thought the adjusting part was really funny and I should show it off because I just spam click to get it to the right note. And then here I finally start moving the signs and the chests. And let me tell you, this was a nightmare. I cut out most of it, but as you can see, I was using those chests to store certain things, particularly powdered snow, which is terrible. And then I threw all of this netherrack on the ground and I wanted to sleep, and I was like, I'm not doing that because my inventory is going to get filled with netherrack. So, of course, I went over to my next door neighbor who was kind enough to lend me his bed, of course. But yeah, it was a nightmare moving these items, and looking back at the recording, this took me like over 30 minutes just to move the items. Eventually, though, got it done. Put my precision anti-creeper sentry outside the door to make sure that there's no unwanted guests, and everything is nice and done. And as you can see, some of the mailboxes are lit up because, again, just like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, people had Christmas items that were left over, and that was the whole point of the mailbox. So I needed to grab some lily pads, and I thought I'd just highlight how amazing Distant Horizons is. I'm out here literally looking for a swamp biome that can be thousands of blocks away because I can just see super far away. Eventually I do find a swamp, and I am able to get some lily pads, but like, it is just such a game changer to have Distant Horizons. I cannot praise that mod enough. But yeah, I needed the lily pads because I've actually incorporated even more water into the spawn, and I'd like to incorporate even more. But yeah, I built this bridge and I connected the 2 little ponds from the waterfalls and made them all nice and cool looking, and did a lot of texturing and stuff. The final touches was the lily pads, but yeah, I'm super proud of this bridge and this little pond. I think everything came together very nicely. It's all super cool, and I'm happy with it. I think maybe I'll do a little bit of adjustment in the future, but for now, it's pretty cool. Also started some work on the interior of the mailroom. Of course, I was not going to leave it just unfinished like that, no. So I changed it up a little bit. We've currently got 3 redstone lamps. I'm thinking of changing that some more. But as you can see, the inside is just very gray and plain and boring. So I was actually going down here to get some moss, because this is where I do my moss farming. I don't have a moss farm. I know they're not super complicated to make, but no, that's for another episode, all right? We're not doing that today. But yeah, I need tons of moss, so I just come down to the deep slate layer. We have an ancient city that's under spawn, and I have this beacon here, and I just place moss, grow the moss, and then I just harvest it. Of course, I need the moss to combine with cobblestone to get mossy cobble, and to combine with stone bricks to get mossy stone bricks. But yeah, I just wanted to show off the process of me getting the moss. It's pretty painful, but it's also not terrible, and I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone because I'm clearing out some of the room around the haste beacon. Alright, and here we are back after I have completed the mailroom, and I have done a lot of finishing touches on the hills around here. As you can see, I've done so much texturing and adding leaves, adding some amethyst crystals over here, reshaping, just a whole bunch of stuff. As you can see, I've been going with a kind of more of a blob kind of style. I've never done this before, but yeah, it does look a lot better where you just group like blocks together, or you add things into the mountainside that are like actual ore veins running through, like different types of rock. It doesn't have to be actual ore. And it's like actually in a vein instead of just randomly like, every other block is changed or swapped. It's just 1 by 1 patches. No, I think the vein and blotting method just makes a lot more sense. It makes a lot more sense when you put things, when you place things with a reason or a purpose. And if we come in here, yeah, a lot has changed. As you can see, this is absolutely gorgeous, if I do say so myself. Put a lot of effort into this, and basically it's kind of just like a ruin. You've got like pillars here. I don't know what exactly inspired this, but it just I don't know. I was very inspired, and this is just how it came out to be. But yeah, it was meant to be like a building at one point, but it's kind of ruined, as you can see in the roof. The roof has been falling in. I did try to add some like stone onto the ground and make the ground uneven to like show that collapse has fallen onto the ground, but that gets into the territory of it makes the area annoying to use, like walking on uneven ground. So I decided to go with just flat ground, and it's fine that way. I added some depth. Oh, that's supposed to have water in it. I added some depth to the floor by putting in stairs, obviously. I didn't want to do any slabs because, again, I don't want people falling in to the floor as they walk or just having a bad time walking around here. There is some leveling around the edges, but for the most part, it's very flat. And that is by design. I do not want this place to be annoying to use. We've also got this water over here, and like I said, this was put here with a purpose. This green grass and moss is growing because it's getting water and sunlight from this. This actually does go all the way up into the water stream that's coming down the hill. But yeah, you can see even like right there. Back up in the... Oh, I can't get on land. Ah, I'm stuck. Back over there, there's more moss around the water because the water is feeding the moss. Like I've put a lot of things in place for a reason, and it winds up that your brain kind of like, it doesn't realize why those things are there, but when those things are out of place is when your brain's going to notice it and think, oh, that doesn't look so great. But when things make sense, it makes sense and it looks good. Like, for example, the moss is here because there's sunlight and water around here. If you look at this area, there's moss right here because sunlight comes in through here, and moss there. I did place some random moss, like there really probably shouldn't be moss here. But yeah, moss here because sunlight. And the theory with the moss on the ceiling is kind of like water dripping down through the ceiling. Maybe you know what? I should actually put water like 1 block above these and have actual like drips. I just thought of that. That's really nice. I could do that. But yeah, back here, there's more moss because, well, it was open to the sky before. It's not anymore, but yeah, there's natural light coming in. So, of course, the back wall is going to be a bit mossier. Same for over there. And I don't know, it just came out really nice. There's veins of tuff running through and veins of andesite. You know, everything is kind of just together, and the stone bricks have more like structure to them because they were structural at one point. Obviously, it's in a state of collapse, so like you've got stuff falling down and getting caught and stuck on the wall. I don't know, it's just really cool. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and of course, it's got a thing in the back for dyes, so you can grab your dye, and a couple people already have grabbed their dye and dyed their mailbox, so that's really cool. Good to see that people are taking advantage of it. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with how things have been turning out. I would say that for the most part, this whole section, along with the mail room, is done in terms of spawn, or this whole section, including this water here. Yeah, this is like done. I still want to do a lot to the floor here. I want more leveling and details and stuff, and I'm thinking of adding water from here to over here, because if we just take a quick little dive, you'll see there's actually a big cavern down here, and it would be so sick to have the water flow down and have this be like a waterfall entrance instead of like just an entrance. I think that would look sick. So if we have like a little stream of water coming off of that, going there and then coming down, it would be really nice. And of course, we want to add a bridge here. I've got the length laid out. I'm going to copy exactly this bridge. Of course, it's a little bit Japanese style with the torii gate type structures here. Not exactly, but you know, it's Japanese inspired, I would say. And there's a lot of projects I want to do here. Obviously, have to redo the enchantment area. It's pretty stands out quite a bit at this point, but that will be done eventually. I have a lot of ideas for like a floating enchantment station over the middle of the river or something. I don't know. I think that'd be cool, but random. Also want to completely redo this area. I have some ideas for it, but nothing that I'm too set on at the moment. But yeah, a lot of ideas, and eventually we'll get to it. But I think in the next episode, we're probably going to be tackling the sheep farm and maybe the bee farm. Depends. I've also got a rail system upgrade planned. I've been fooling around with some redstone, and we'll see how that works out. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, especially if you made it to the end. You are the true MVP if you made it to the end. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day, and goodbye.